I'm Connie Baker, and I am a licensed professional counselor in Portland, Oregon. And wow, what a week we have had. Has this not been the craziest week? This coronavirus is changing a lot of things. We're being told all over the place, you know, take care of yourself, wash your hands, here how to keep good health, here's good hygiene. And I have sat with clients this week and they are really processing, like all of us are, what does this mean for them emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, socially, all these things. So I want to take a few minutes today to talk about and good mental health. How can we keep good mental health, good mental hygiene, so to speak, as these days move forward? People are responding in a lot of different ways. And honestly, trauma survivors can have a really difficult time responding to yet more potential traumatic information. And it's difficult to keep our equilibrium mentally and emotionally. So here's the question. In the middle of all this change, in the middle of something so completely new that none of us have experienced before, how can we keep ourselves mentally and emotionally healthy? I've got some ideas that I think are kind of tried and true, and some of them you're going to go, oh, I knew that. And some of you say, I'm already doing that. But some of you will say, I knew that, but I'm not doing that. Good reminder. Our brains need that. And other times there might be a little bit of new info here. So there's going to be the need to take extra care of ourselves during this time. So when I'm done, in the comment section of this video, I'm going to post a document with the information I'm sharing today, as well as self-care handouts for options for what are creative ways to take care of yourself. So let's get into this. The first category is, how do you take care of yourself? What's on a mental level during this crisis, during this crazy time? What do we do mentally? Number one, and I've talked about this with my clients and I'm talking about it with myself, stay present. In light of how fast things are changing and all the turmoil going on around the coronavirus, remind yourself, take a minute, remind yourself what is actually staying the same. Make a list. What are things in your life that have not changed this past week? I think sometimes when change comes so fast and so intense, we lose sight of what has not changed, what is still stable, what is still intact. Even if it's temporarily still intact, it's still intact. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. And you know that, apart from the coronavirus. So another way to stay present is to remember that anxiety and worry are all about the future. And they're about future catastrophes that are not yet real. They're not yet real. So remind yourself of your relative safety right now. None of us are completely safe, but we walk through 99.9% of our life basically safe. But our mind says, no, we're not safe. And some of us have gone through things that we haven't been safe multiple times. But usually those times are short-lived, seconds to minutes to hours. And then we have days where we actually have no physical threat. So I want to remind ourselves of your relative safety right now. One of our best mantras we can use, and I use it with my clients, I use it with me, is I'm safe right now. And that helps the anxious mind stay present right here, right now. I'm sitting here on my couch in my living room talking to you guys. Right now, I'm safe. Now, could something happen immediately? Yes, something crazy could go on. But right now I'm safe, and to stay present. Another point is to stay in reality, to ask yourself, what is actually happening to me right here, right now, as opposed to all the vicarious living we do in the news cycle and the media's and social media's stream of trauma and fear. So to say, what is actually happening to me right here? Stay in reality. Some of my clients and I were talking because of all the yikes going on in the media and social media. We kind of forget I'm actually fine right now. The reality is I don't have the coronavirus. Nobody else I know does, although I found out it's through a connection, but the first person that I'm aware of connected to somebody I know has got it. So I know that's likely going to change, unfortunately. But right now, what is happening to me right here, right now, as opposed to, yikes, what's going on in all the media? So that first step is to stay present. Stay right here, right now, as much as you possibly can. Second point, I think, is to stay reasonable. All right? Most of us are clear that the media is really going crazy. All right? So let's try to avoid emotional, mental, or behavioral extremes. To realize when you're panicking, saying, what is a threat to me right this moment? There's actually not a threat. So stay reasonable, not this moment. And there again, I know some of you are going, yes, there is a threat. Yes, in theory, there's actually a threat. And for some of us, it's going to happen. But right now, stay reasonable. There's no reason to panic. Panic won't help right this minute for your internal world. So things like, I think we could go to crazy extremes of wiping down all surfaces in my home with bleach several times a day, refusing to leave my home for any reason. We can go to these places that are not moderate, and that's usually not helpful for our mental health. So to try to say, I'm going to do what I can. And that's the next question under this stay reasonable, is ask yourself, what can I reasonably do? What can I reasonably do? Then do it. Take action. Taking action helps decrease anxiety around stuff that you can actually do. Then ask yourself, what can't I control? What is out of my realm of control? And there are always things in life that you can't control. And then to be able to say, I'm going to let this go. I'm letting it go. There's nothing more to be done about it. Easier said than done, but we are able to say, I'm going to redirect my head right now. And if you need some help professionally with that, find a good therapist, find a good friend to talk it through with that can help you find your bearings. The other thing about staying reasonable is remember that everyone responds differently to stress and to crisis. Be reasonable and gracious with yourself. Don't judge yourself for your reactions to this crisis. That just adds all kinds of extra problems that are really unneeded. Like, oh, why am I struggling with this so much? Or, oh my gosh, what if I'm not reacting enough? Be reasonable. Everybody responds differently. So be gracious and realize that that's part of what it is to be human. Another important point, number 3, is stay grateful. All right? Again, sometimes easier said than done during these times. But ask yourself, what do I still have? What is not quarantined? What is not taken away? What is not canceled? I saw a great meme that was talking about love is not canceled. Hope is not canceled. It was not a meme, but a post. I'm like, beautiful. What do you still have? Most of us have still the really important things. We've got shelter, we've got food and clothing. We've got friends and family. We've got beauty, goodness, love, faith, and hope. We've got these things. Let's remember that. Stay grateful for all those basic, beautiful things that are parts of our life. Another way to stay mentally, to have good mental health, is to stay spiritually nurtured. Crisis gives us an opportunity to revisit and re-establish our deeply solid ground. Where's your solid ground? That deeply anchored faith or belief or worldview. Stay nurtured spiritually during these times of crisis. They're actually opportunity for our own souls to develop. And, some options for you might be prayer, meditation, music, reading, any nurturing practice that nurtures your spirit is going to be a helpful mental health practice. We're all interconnected, right? Our spirits are not separate from our minds or our emotions and our bodies. We're all connected. So those are some areas on the mental health. The next section is about socially. This is a big deal. I know you guys know this. I think all of us feel a little jittery about this issue of isolation. So, point number 5 is stay connected. Isolation is indeed a mental health risk. And so we need to put even more emphasis on keeping connected with family, friends, community, wherever we possibly can. And, we're likely going to have to end up utilizing more online resources. Or, stand back. Some of us might even need to use the phone. I know, crazy talk, old school. It could happen even to some of you younger than me. You might use the phone. Phone is a way to connect. I just had to say that, right? Be creative. How can you stay connected with the people that matter to you? The groups, the individuals, the family units. How can you do that maybe in a new creative way? Another thing, socially that we can do, think about this. I'm a mom. If my house starts burning down and my child is in their bedroom, my first thought is grab that kid. I honestly don't panic. I don't do anything except act, run, go get that kid. Then I get out and I'm like, whoa. Now, if I'm alone, honestly, it might be more panicky. But when I'm focused on helping someone else, it is actually a boost to our mental health. So 6 is stay aware of other people's needs. Our minds and emotions keep regulated by helping other people and reaching outside of ourselves. It's most of us know that. Most of us feel it. We go, okay, I feel better. I just helped somebody. My mood shifted. So if you're feeling too turned inward, too anxious, ask yourself, who could I encourage or practically help? Who could I boost today? That is a great mental health option. And 7 is, okay, I'm going to preach on this one. Stay generous with how other people might be dealing with this. We're already hearing kickback and smack about that person's not responding well. What, that group of people is ridiculous. Well, a person who responds like this is just crazy. It's easy to judge people when we're scared and unsettled, and we can judge them and be annoyed rather than supportive. Everyone's brain processes trauma differently. You guys, look into brain science. I'm telling you, your brain is not normal because there is no normal. Everybody's, several people can stand around, let's say, and watch a building burn and react totally differently because their brain has been wired to take in that information. So people can be dealing with triggers from previous traumas or their upbringing or medical issues. And this coronavirus crisis is going to trigger some of that. So be kind, stay generous with how other people are dealing with this thing. Does that make sense? All right, my last 2 things have to do with the physical end of how to keep good mental health during this. Number 8 is stay moving. All right, any physical activity, you know this, but I'm going to remind you, any physical activity is a huge mental health boost. Any activity. And some of us are going to have to get creative if the gym's closed or we don't want to go to the gym or whatever's going on. And especially in Portland, at least in March weather, we got to get creative. So, walks, jump rope, hikes, yoga, at-home videos, whatever it takes, cleaning house vigorously and fast. Any physical movement is going to help mental health during this time. And the last one is stay breathing, all right? Deep breathing shifts us both physically and mentally. So here's the thing. When somebody says do deep breathing and I'm feeling anxiety, here's what my mind usually does. Oh, okay, good. Deep breath. Ah, good. Out. Very nice. In, deep breath. I wonder what I'm having for dinner tonight. Do I need to get to the store? Oh my goodness, I didn't tell my husband I needed him to pick up something. Okay, we're done. So if your brain is like mine, you need some structure. So here is a super way to do good deep breathing. Into the count of 4, out to the count of 4. So like this, you'll go. All right? I will guarantee you, you will get your money back on this video. Okay, so it didn't cost you. But I will guarantee you that if you do that 10 times, even 5, but I'll guarantee you on 10, if you count into the count of 4 and breathe out to the count of 4 10 times, your body and mind and emotions will shift. And it's kind of magic, but most of us don't take time to do it. So that's a great deep breathing is a great anxiety and trauma and crisis management tool. All right, all of these are going to be posted in the comment section of this video, and I'm also going to post both the self-care guide options. It's a fun list of things that I've made up through the years about how to take care of yourself, and the info on this video I'm going to both post in this comment section and in my Connie A. Baker Facebook page. I'll make an option for reading and sharing these. So you all have a great day. Take good care of yourself, and air hugs to you like I get to do to everyone else now. All right, take care. Thanks for tuning in.